Oh boy, let's see what we're getting ourselves into here, huh? Been kind of a funky morning, been a funky week. Hey there, Postal here. So we're taking out the JL-1A-37. I literally just specialized this on Saturday. And I've completely changed my setup on it since then. Well, completely changed isn't 100% accurate. I've changed this plane to be a maneuverability build rather than a speed build. And we're going to see how that does for us. So first, let's talk about the plane in general. Let's talk about why I put it as a speed build, and we're going to talk about why I've changed the build. We're going to talk about why my freaking monitor is so dirty. Why is my monitor so dirty? Alright, so first things first, what is this plane? Well, it is a Chinese Tier 8 premium fighter. I'm not really fond of Chinese planes premium planes in World of Warplanes, simply because they get you premium credits, and that's all they really do. You don't have a regular tech line. You're not building up a pilot for your Tier 10 fighter or heavy fighter or bomber or whatever, right? And so anyway, in general, not fond of the Chinese premium planes because I feel like there's other premium planes that you'll get more bang for your buck, especially at Tier 8. Anyway, it's a really good plane, though, that being said, even if the concept of a Chinese premium is less than appealing. I-220, let's go after this dude. Right, yes. Alright, so it's got two 23mm cannons, has one 37mm cannon. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? That sounds like a MiG-9. That sounds like a MiG-15. And it really is. It's a Tier 8 of those planes. Hello. And as such, I was playing it like a Tier 8 version of those planes. Those planes have incredible speed, piss-poor maneuverability, heavy-hitting cannons, and pretty darn good altitude performance. This plane has, if not outstanding altitude performance with the MiG-15, right? This plane is like that, minus the altitude performance, and of course it's got Tier 8 speed, not Tier 9/Tier 10 speed. And so, but what I was doing is I was still playing it like I would those planes 100%, meaning I go all in on the speed for those planes. They are incredibly fast, incredibly punchy. And they live and they die on their speed, really, truly. They're very good at taking out heavy fighters because you've got these heavy-hitting type cannons. Let's let our 37mm cannon cool off. And so I had this plane built like that. I've posted some videos on, Ace Gameplay with that kind of setup. This was before specialization. The biggest gripe I had about this plane beforehand was its cannons. The 37mm cannon is just, it overheats way too quickly. Even the 23mm cannons overheat very quickly. And so I couldn't wait for specialization so that way my plane's cannons didn't overheat. Well, I've played played one game specialization last night with this plane. Was it last night? No, 2 nights ago. Good grief. And seriously? Okay. Oh, I'm the one that died. The J-8M, the literal fire dumpster of a plane, didn't catch on fire or was just not destroyed in that collision. Anywho, I built this plane for speed, expecting the same types of results. And yes, for the most part, the problem that you run into at Tier 8 that you don't necessarily see at Tier 9 or 10 is just the vast majority of the planes at this tier. You run into Tier 7 planes like we're seeing here. You've got so much more maneuverability at Tier 7 and 8 than you do at Tier 9 and 10. There are obviously very maneuverable planes at Tier 9 and 10, but they're not the ones that own the skies. The bombers really own the skies at Tier 9 and 10. And as such, the maneuverability aspect isn't as much of a factor at those higher tiers, and you can get away with having a non-maneuverability build at Tier 9 and 10. having... What is going on here? Am I really getting in front of... Oh, 1056. That was completely my fault not paying attention to the map at all. I haven't been paying attention to the map today at all, actually. Last week was a funky week. But what am I trying to say here? I was thinking to myself, you know what? This speed build isn't really doing it at tier 8 for me. I'm running into too many planes that are too maneuverable, and I can't keep my guns on target long enough to actually have a literal impact on them. I was realizing this when I was going against air defense aircraft. They were just simply out-turning me. I'd get them down to like 10 HP, but I just wasn't able to stay on them long enough because I didn't have any kind of maneuverability. So I adjusted down. I put one maneuverability equipment, a lightweight power unit, on my plane. And, you know, got a little bit better at it. That's actually when I started leaving them at 10 HP. Before that, I'd do a pass on an air defense aircraft and leave them on 50 HP. And it'd, you know, be frustrating. Leaving them on 10 HP is even more frustrating. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I could just stick on these planes for just a little while longer, what kind of impact can I have on a battle in that kind of situation? I'm trying to find out right now. I'm certainly hesitant to try this build. You know, I do like the speed that man, there's too many planes all at the same exact distance away from me. I don't like that. Who's right on my butt? Oh, a very maneuverable plane. A plane that I definitely can't outmaneuver if my life depended on it. But my life depends on it, so let's try to find a way to outmaneuver it. Ah, when the 37mm cannon hits, it's so good. And that's the thing, is trying to wiggle with planes like that have maneuverability is just an impossibility. And I'm finding I'm already, like, I'm only one battle in with this maneuverability build on this plane. I'm not missing the speed, and I am definitely loving the freaking maneuverability. I'm not even sure, well, I guess I had a pretty good impact. I'm not even sure if I had a good impact. But I clearly did have a reasonably good impact. But I can tell you I already feel more comfortable in the plane. Very often, my thought process on a speed build is to play it like you would an F6U, to play it like you would the MiG-9 and MiG-15. Problem with the MiG-9 and the MiG-15 is they've actually got better maneuverability and better speed than this plane. And so MiG-9, I'm actually able to stick with some of those turny planes for just long enough to kill them, and I could never do that in the JL-137. Let's take a look at another game. Alright, so second battle in with the new build on the JL-1A-37. And it looks like we have been bestowed with an all-bot battle. Alright. So let's see. So this plane was never really that good, or in my hands at least, very good at defending a sector. I'm going to go for the garrison. For the command center. Whew. I know garrisons win games, but come on, Postal. And I'm going to send everybody else over to the mining facility. So let's see what we can do here. So the JL still has great altitude for its tier. It really, really is a tier 8 MiG. But like I said, you're going to run into games with Yak 15s, and you've always got to deal with Yak 19s and Yak 30s at the higher tiers. But there's just so much speed at the higher tiers, and you've actually got decent maneuverability with the MiGs, that a speed build is not a bad build on those planes. The speed build with this plane, like, I just felt like there's too many wiggly targets at these lower tiers that it made it a little bit more frustrating to deal with. So let's get that 37mm cannon hitting. Darn it. There we go. 37 hitting. 37 hitting. You can tell it hits because they lose a chunk of health very quickly. There we go. Hello, sir. Oh, hello, sir. That guy was looking to kill me. I'm actually going to go for some air defense aircraft here first. Trying to get some cheeky extra kills basically here. Can I get that guy? I was like, come on, man. Get in their IL-8. I can get him. There we go. 1056. This plane's really built to take down the 1056, but then again, a lot of planes are built to take down the 1056. All my guns have overheated. That's okay, though. Just hold off for a second, and we'll get it back. Oh, another heavy fighter. All right, cool. We need to watch out for is that LA. Let's actually go for the LA. I can easily out dogfight a BF-109Z. I cannot easily out dogfight an Lavochkin 9RD. So let's get our engine cooling back on here. So our friendly's getting the mining facility. I'm not really even paying attention to the battle at this point. I'm just trying to test out the plane. There we go. Clearly we still want to win the battle, because I am a try-hard noob, and I will try hard. And again, I've won some nice battles by trying too hard. Alright. Hey, it's Ken again. How you doing, Ken? Why are you up so high? Ken is way outside his altitude bracket, I guarantee it. I like the 1056, but one of its weaknesses, and it does have a few weaknesses, one of its weaknesses is its piss poor altitude performance. Alright, now that we're within 2,000 feet on the range, the 37mm cannon will actually be able to hit. Not that it actually is. There we go. Go ahead and get this guy that's right in front of me. Thank you. Come again. Let's boost straight here. Keep basically in a straight line, so that way we're continuing to have our speed. Get rid of Carl here. It's all about the 37mm cannon. I'm watching the tracers of the 37mm more than the 23s for sure. 23s will do some damage, don't get me wrong, but it's the 37mm cannon that's gonna get the kills. Yeah, even if it doesn't get the kill, it's what's doing the vast majority of damage. To actually, am I killing myself here? No, this guy's just going in a straight line. Oh crap, I thought that kill was gonna get the sector. Maybe I am gonna kill myself here. No es bueno. There we go. Whew. I could not get away from that air defense aircraft from wiggling. My goal was to get away from it by killing his friendly and getting that sector. Are they gonna get the? Wow, they're actually up on freaking capture points and everything. I'm being a little bit lackadaisical here. Even the multi-roll doesn't want to go directly ahead against me. You know you've got some heavy-hitting firepower in a multi-roll that won't ram you when you're in a light fighter. He wanted to, but I knew I'd get him. All right, let's get this LA-9 again. He can definitely outmaneuver me. If he stayed alive. Key 94 can definitely outmaneuver me. Incredibly maneuverable fighter. We're about to lose the command center. Then again, I feel like we've been about to lose the command center for a couple minutes now. But we're definitely going to be losing the command center at some point here. There we go. Try to get rid of this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. I was going to say, this thing's great at taking on heavy fighters still, even with the lack of speed that it has compared to what it used to have previously.
Hang in there. You'll soon be cut off from support. I say again, support will not be available. Bomber squadron detected. Engage.
Alright, we need to get this command center ASAP back. Alright. So they've got everybody there, so let's get to the command center. Put my engine cooling on, let's boost. Did a boost. I'm going to continue to send everybody else over there. I know I can't get the command center by myself, per se. I actually need to save our bomber flight here, because that's going to help us get the mining facility. Ready? Holy cow. I am milking this all-bot battle for all it's worth, aren't I? We've got a multi-roll over there, so if I can keep the multi-roll alive, he can get the ground. It's just I just used all my boost to go somewhere else. We're going to lose this battle, unfortunately. It certainly looks like. But we're not giving up. This guy's coming at me, so let's go for him first. This guy's going away from me. Nope, this guy's coming back first. Okay. Pneumatic control assist to turn as tight as possible on this guy. There we go. Do I need to shoot the ground? Is there anything at the ground that's reasonably close to almost dying? No, not at all. Oh, our multi-roll died. Oh no, he's still alive. Oh crap, we're getting spanked now. Simply by not attacking the right... Well, let's see what we can kill here. Can we no-cap kill all? Probably not. I think the mining facility is going to lose this battle for us. Like to kill the ground attacker, but I got to kill the things that are going to kill me first. So I'm liking the plane a hell of a lot more. And I guess if I wanted to win this battle from the get-go, I would have been playing completely differently. Oh, we did get the mining facility, though. So can I get this sector? Yes, I can. Alright, we are running out of planes. Can I... Oh, you know what? I'm going to go over... screw it. Let's get stuck in. This is the exact opposite of what I want to do with a speed build version of a JL. Getting stuck in versus a million different planes. Ugh. Turn, turn, turn. Okay. Ooh, this guy first. This guy next. Yeah. Oh, man. Too little, too late. But I honestly 100% like the build on this better. Even with completely just dicking around in the beginning there, trying to get into engagements that I wouldn't want to get into, seeing how well the plane performed in that kind of situation, literally ignoring objectives to go capture garrisons and all that kind of shenanigans. We still almost kind of sort of won this, not from the capture points aspect of it, but from the actual ability to kill the enemy planes. We almost killed them all, right? So, and that would not be a situation I'd want the JL-1A-37 to be in with a speed build. All right, so that first battle, 16 kills, 4,500 damage to the air, 14,000 plus, and 300,000 silver, which is, credits, which is always nice. Why you got a tier 8 premium, right? And I just felt comfortable in the plane. I always felt like I was fighting against the plane previously. I mean, not that I wasn't able to have outstanding results. You can check out previous posts I've put on the JL1. But I didn't feel like the plane and I were working together. I felt like I was trying to work against the JL to get those results. And you are a fighter. Sometimes you need to defend sectors. And a speed build JL-1A-37 just wasn't the best at defending sectors, especially against very aggressive enemy fighters. And so, you'd get stuck in a situation where you would try to outspeed them, but then you'd have to deal with the heavy fighters that could outspeed you, or at least stick with you long enough to hurt you. So, again, not that the speed build's a terrible build. I'm feeling just in one battle more comfortable with a turn build. Let's see what the second battle has for us. Being in dogfighting was the worst thing in the world with a speed build. Not even against things like tempests and typhoons. Still terrible. Your maneuverability base with this plane with a speed build is so poor that you're gonna get you're just gonna get in situations where you're gonna hate life. We actually got 30 kills there. Holy crap. That deserves a screenshot. Alright, so for our second battle, we actually got 30 kills. I'm not sure. I don't get 30 kills very often, so I don't know if that's the most kills I've ever gotten. I probably got 32. Anyway, that doesn't even matter. I put this plane in a bad position right from the get-go, right? I'm wanting to see just how far I could push it in dogfights and things of that nature. And try to find out how effective can this plane be. And I really honestly enjoy this build a lot more than the speed build that I had on it. And don't get me wrong, I love the speed build of the MiGs, but at tier 8 I feel like this is a more comfortable position to put it in. Obviously we lost the battle simply because we were being a doofus. But that's what you get for being a doofus. So second battle really shows the extent of what I can do in this plane as a maneuverability build. Let's take a look at the full maneuverability build that I've got set up. Some things that I changed since my full speed build. I've gone ahead and, well, let's take a step back. Let's talk about the things that I've kept the same. Once I've specialized the plane, I added the reinforced bulk carriers on here. And I have now gone ahead and made them ultimate. Being able to have the burst length of the forward firing armament increased, incredibly helpful. You're getting one more extra shot out of the 37mm cannon, which is all you really need. On top of that, the bonus characteristics of the rate of fire boost and the cooldown rate boost have really helped the armament of this plane, which I always thought was the weakness of this plane. The guns would overheat so quickly that, you'd get some good chunks in there, but typically you'd leave an enemy that was on full health. Now you just left them on low health, and sometimes you'd get killed by them. So being able to put reinforced bulk carriers on here has been awesome. The other thing that I've obviously kept is a gyroscopic sight. I want the accuracy of my forward firing armament to be as great as possible. The bonus characteristics of inflicting critical damage plus 15%. Plus an additional bonus accuracy of 3% on top of that. So my accuracy boost is at 14%. At 17%, which helps counteract the minus 11% that you get taken away from that with the reinforced bulk carriers. The other thing that I kept was the uprated engine. So that's giving me some speed. That's a non-boost speed increase. And I think on fighters, the uprated engine is a more viable option than the gas turbine. Gas turbine I typically use on planes that have a large boost pool. If you've got 20 seconds worth of boost, the gas turbine takes away from that the amount of seconds, but it also gives an increase to the amount of power that you get. When you've got such a small amount of airspeed available as far as your boost duration is concerned, I don't want to necessarily reduce that boost duration anymore. So I'll use the uprated engine, so that way my overall base speed is going to be higher. Considering you're going to be using your base speed a lot more in a fighter than you will your boost speed, because you're just not going to have as much boost to go around. The two things that I changed were here on the airframe and the engine. First one I changed was the lightweight power unit. It helps my yaw maneuverability and my maneuverability in turns. Then I've also got some bonus characteristics that help the speed and additional maneuverability on top of that. And then for the airframe, I put lightweight wing frame. This was the last thing I changed. I used to have the polished skin, got me really good airspeed, right? But the lightweight wing frame gives you more roll maneuverability and maneuverability in turns. Plus, the bonus characteristics are even more roll maneuverability and actually helps the cruise speed. So my maneuverability has jumped up quite a bit. It's still very piss poor, 11 seconds, but it's good enough to deal with multi-role fighters, and you know there's a lot of multi-role fighters that are in the game. And it also can keep me on target in a pinch just long enough to get one more 37mm cannon shot out. That's all you need, as you just saw in the second battle here. The other and final thing that I've changed is the manual engine restart. What's really funny is since I put the manual engine restart on here, I haven't gotten my engine knocked out. But one of the biggest frustrations I had besides the guns overheating was my engine was getting knocked out all the freaking time. I used to have on here the improved mixture control. I might go back to that if I keep playing games and stop getting my engine knocked out magically. But I put the engine restart back on here so that when I get my engine knocked out, I can put it back in and keep moving along with my life. The other things are pretty basic for a fighter. I've got a first aid package on here. I don't catch on fire all that often. And even more importantly, if my pilot gets knocked out, I need to put him back in so that my plane works better. I've got pneumatic control assist, which I actually use now more than I did previously. I had it on the speed build. I just didn't use it all that often because I didn't typically get into tourney fights or need it to get myself out of trouble. Now that I've got a more turn build, the pneumatic control assist I actually use a little bit more often when I'm trying to kill an air defense aircraft really quick, because you know those air defense aircraft are always super turny. Or I get stuck in a battle with a BVP 210. I can knock this down and outmaneuver him for at least a little while. Engine cooling, incredibly important. Get your 10 seconds worth of extra boost from time to time. With a plane like this, you want to get from sector to sector as quickly as possible. Or you want to stick with a heavy fighter that's trying to get away. You say, "Nuh-uh, get back in here." Reel him in. Universal ammo, because, why not, I suppose. And so I'm actually... I had, no doubt, again, had great games with the JL-1A-37 previously. As I've mentioned previously, though, I kind of felt like it was hanging on by the seat of my pants, squeezing every inch of performance from the plane, and, barely able to hang on for dear life and get a good game out of it, or a great game sometimes out of it. What was also very weird about those games is more often than not I was getting like an ace, but getting like 12,000 or 13,000 personal points, and you're like, what? How is that possible? Well, it's possible because you were never defending a sector in your fighter. And as you may know, fighters are built, as far as their chevrons are concerned, are built around defending sectors. You get additional chevrons for enemy kills while you're defending a sector. You get chevrons for capture points, whether they're attacking or defending. And you get chevrons for enemy aircraft kills. So when you're not defending sectors as much because you're not in a turn fighter, you're in the worst, how I had mine built was basically the worst maneuverability at tier 8 for a fighter. You're not defending sectors very often. And hell, half the time, half your kills that you're getting are outside of sectors just because you're intercepting planes in random areas. You're not getting a lot of them. You're getting them more while you're attacking sectors than defending, for sure. I'd literally have games with an ace game with like 2 kills defense, and so you're really not leaning into the chevrons of a fighter either. Kind of reminds me of some other planes that are out there that might be called a heavy fighter but play more like a multi-role, or might be a fighter but play more like a heavy fighter. And so putting a maneuverability build on this plane kind of lets it sit in to the strengths as a fighter, but also allows you to get your 37mm cannon on target quicker. And that can't be discounted, right? If the strength of this plane is its ability to just take a huge chunk of damage out of an enemy pilot, then getting that gun on target quicker is going to be beneficial across the board. So yeah, I was super hesitant about this build from the get-go, to be honest. I had my airspeed up to pretty close to 80, I want to say. It was at 78 or something like that, 76 maybe. And so taking away that much airspeed I thought was going to make it ineffective, but I wanted to test it out anyway. Even if I think it's going to weaken the plane, you don't know until you try, right? So, you know, I thought that, I honestly thought that I would see, you know, a benefit from the maneuverability, but the negativity to the airspeed was going to outweigh that. I'm only 2 battles in, but needless to say, I'm gonna leave it in this build. The only thing I might change is the consumable, like I said, the manual engine restart. I'm probably gonna hang on to it just for the time being, for sure. I might go to that high octane fuel or whatever the hell it's called in the future. But right now, if I can get 30 freaking kills in a me derping around trying to get stuck into dogfights that I would normally try to avoid, in a defeat, granted, but 30 kills while kind of screwing around a little bit, I might have just opened up a can of worms with this plane, huh? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit longer, but it talks about a little bit about my thought process behind changing up, and try to experiment a little bit more with planes. Getting outside my comfort zone sometimes, or sometimes in this instance, actually kind of reverting back to my comfort zone of wanting to dogfight in a fighter. And I think that's really the key. Just because, and even furthermore, just because another person sets up their plane in one way doesn't mean that you have to set it up in that way. If you're more comfortable with a speed build and you have success with a speed build, lean in on that. Don't go, oh, well, Postal's doing it this way, so I've got to do this. Or so-and-so in my clan is doing it this way, and hell says I must do it this way. Sure, try it out that way. But if you're not doing well or you're not comfortable in it, and that's what this came down to, is comfortability, not doing... The doing well, I was still doing well, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Try something else. It's your plane. You're the pilot. Do it on your own time. Fool around. Say, oh, never mind. I was completely wrong. Let me go back to, so-and-so's build in my clan who was yelling at me to build it this way. If you're not comfortable with the plane that you've kept and you want to try something different, try something different. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to find out that, okay, never mind, the previous build was a better build. You could open up a can of worms and get a 30 kill game out of a plane that you never thought you'd ever get 30 kills in. So, anywho, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy these kind of videos in the future. I'll be trying to expand a little bit on some suggestions that I've gotten from you all and from my clan, and we'll continue posting. I hope you're enjoying your day. I'll catch you in the next one.